We all know that Gayton McKenzie and the Patriotic Alliance were hoping to work in the Home Affairs or Police Ministries, and when it was announced that he would be getting the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, many people mocked him and expected Gayton McKenzie himself to be disheartened. But as one citizen commented under a video, Minister Gayton McKenzie was given a lemon and made lemonade, lemon butter chicken, and lemon meringue pie. Welcome to Citizen Concerned, where we remind you to beware of the comrades. I'm Katlego and would appreciate it if you subscribed to our YouTube channel, liked and shared this video with other citizens. As we have all seen, Minister Gayton McKenzie is really on a mission to create change and implement improvements in his department. But as with anything in life, there will be questions, concerns, and criticisms. Take a look at this.
So I do also want to talk about the whole announcement that you made regarding super fans and the fact that you're doing away with that and the government having to fund that because you want to focus more on giving the funds to the athletes to be able to compete at different levels. Let's talk about that, because you could have someone who's a netball player say, it actually makes a difference for me to sometimes look up and I see Mama Joy because I know that that's the 12th player.
All right. South Africa's got 65, or let me say 50 million Mama Joys. Make no mistake. They jumps in front of the TV that will take the last money to go to a game. But there's two things that South Africa needs to understand about the whole Mama Joy situation. There is a panel of super fans. Why is it that they're using the same people while there's a panel? What must the other super fans think that's on the panel? The departmental panel. And you only use the same people, it cannot be.
Who knew that there was a panel of super fans? And who exactly qualifies to be part of this panel? Where do they apply and who appoints them? What's worse is, of the entire panel, most of us only know of Mama Joy, which already shows discrimination and favoritism, wouldn't you say?
But more than that, the hockey team were raising money. They were selling Boerevorst rolls to go and compete. The athletes that's going to Peru for the youth championships, they don't have money to pay for their tickets to get there. I'm helping them now to raise money to get them sponsorship.
So the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture has got money to buy plane tickets, book hotels, buy game tickets for some super fans, but it doesn't have money for the travel and accommodation of actual sports players themselves. How does that even make sense? That, my dear friends, is a great work that the ANC was doing for our country. They have had power for decades, and this is the best they could show for it.
Every Thursday, we invite a lot of artists and people in the arts here to talk about the arts and so on. And there's a constant theme of, how can I put it, disgruntlement. Let me put it bluntly, right? And I want us to get that out of the way now. The city president, a big splash. I'm sure you have seen it. It's a very long article. I needed 3 sessions to read it properly, you know, talking about something called the Mzansi's Golden Economy. Just launched by Paul Mashatile, if my recollection serves me well. And even as it was launched, there was already all kinds of rumors about it being misused and the funds being embezzled and what. And I want us to deal with some of the things that were raised there. Firstly, the whole issue of the criteria for award of certain, of access to those funds, right? If somebody is listening out there and they've been worried about how to access, funds that are meant for arts and culture development, right? What would you say to me about it from a point of view of criteria and also process of selecting people to actually access those funds, Minister?
Well, initially, when it was established, the Mzansi Golden Economy, it was mainly for strategic projects. That is a project with high value, as it were. You'd notice from there that it means then that you are going to have very few of those, which will have a high impact value in society. But as things proceeded, it was clear that the access to funding is so huge. The hunger is so huge. You cannot only confine to what we call flagship programs, like the big ones, you know, of Jazz, Makufe, the Cape Jazz International Festival, and so on. We then decided, no, look, let's have this MGE to be everything to everybody. Find somebody who's in the township, in the village there, and so on, as grants, and have different, sections of it where you deal with touring ventures and so on and so forth. So it has been like that, and it has been very effective in reaching out to the length and breadth of the country.
That was Natim Tetwa, former Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture. And you heard it for yourselves, right? Funds were set up, but it seems only a select few qualified to get some of those funds. Plus, money set aside for some of these funds just went missing. Millions vanished. Poof! Just like that. Now back to the superfans. Tell me something, citizens. In what world does it make sense for the citizens of this country to pay taxes every day, suffering to make a living year in, year out, only for that money to be used to create a career for a small group of connected people? How does it make sense to pay these superfans to focus on cheering and supporting? I mean, that is their career, and it gets to a point where they become celebs, living like millionaires, being flown across the world to live like Instagram models using the taxpayers' money. How does it make sense that you and I work and sweat for our money for someone to simply wake up, catch an international flight to go watch soccer and rugby, and taxpayer money keeps rolling into their accounts? If it continues to exist, the superfans thing should be treated like a lottery. Any one citizen that goes to watch sports games must enter a lucky draw. That's what I think. Then a random citizen should be picked in full view of everyone on social media or national television.
This is $20,000 on the line right here. Fans, can he do it? I think he can do it. I need that Rumble drum roll. All right, Tony, whenever you're ready. Let's see it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
7-point lead. And the crowd going crazy.
The superfans should be picked simply based on luck or some other independent criteria.
I can't believe I won this trip. It's something you may think of, you never get to do.
We're in Abu Dhabi. I can't believe we're here. First time we're going to a race. I'm so excited. Definitely off the bucket list.
This is the actual tar where Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen do their zoom.
We had an opportunity to go to the paddocks.
Seeing some of the drivers like Hamilton, Serb, it was like really, really interesting.
We had a look at, behind the scenes. Just to have that experience alone was magical.
The Champions Club was really quite the experience. You're so close to the action and the views are incredible.
My highlight of the trip has been the race itself. Hearing those engines fly by you was insane. What a trip.
Being at the race for the first time was really an incredible experience.
Hashtag I was there. Hashtag I was there.
People like these superfans who have made a career out of this are the kinds of people who will speak up in favor of the ANC because they are the ones who are seeing the benefits of the ANC. I mean, if you take Mama Joy, Edwin Sodi, Carol Bauer, or McKenzie and ask them who they will vote for, what do you think they'll say? I suspect they'll say the ANC. Why? Because the ANC has taken very, very good care of them.
How do I, as the minister, justify sending Mama Joy, paying 1.3 million, sending people business class, top hotels, while the people that she's supposed to go and watch can't even get there? She gets there before them. They get there before them. We love Mama Joy, but who's she going to watch if I can't get these people? People mustn't, if you are really a super fan, you'll get yourself there if you really want to be there, or that's why we have TV.
As citizen concerned, we believe in facts first, cry later. Whether we like Gayton McKenzie or not, what he is saying here are facts. It makes sense. I was against Gayton McKenzie being in Parliament. I was against voting for him. But on this, he is right. And I hope he keeps doing right by the taxpayer. And if he continues on that path, he will make many of us happy. By us, I mean those like me who did not vote for him and those that did vote for him. So far, he's proving to be way, way better than some, if not most, or even all the previous sports, arts and culture ministers from the ANC. Do you remember this?
Now to another issue that has got everybody talking. You would think in South Africa that we've got far better things to spend our money on, but apparently not. 22 million rand for a flagpole. The Department of Arts and Culture wants to erect the flag at Freedom Park in Pretoria. This has been a big subject, a big controversy for a few days now. Last night, JJ Tabane spoke to the Sports and Art Minister, Nathi Mthethwa. This is what the minister said.
And in transforming this heritage landscape, amongst others, is building of museums, is building of monuments, is the changing of colonial and apartheid names, which is something we've been doing throughout the process. But the issue of the monumental flag must be understood from a broader context of deepening social cohesion in our country, in the sense that it's not an isolated flag. Some years ago, the department did a research, and the research findings was that the majority of the people of South Africa are not familiar with the national symbols. That's one area. And because of that, we then embarked on a variety of programs. One of such is #AmTheFlag.
22 million rand for a flag. A flag. But you need to understand this from a broader context, you see. Don't be narrow. Majority of South Africans are unfamiliar with national symbols, and for that reason, it made sense to spend 22 million rand to erect a flag to make us all more familiar with our national symbols. South Africa, these ANC ministers have really been taking us for fools, Marane. And they have not been the only ones. Some influencer wannabes have been acting as though they could live the social media lifestyles at our expense. Listen to this.
You know, the problem that I'm having is that there are some celebrities in this country that wants the lifestyle of Instagram to be maintained by our department. That time is over. That money is going to the sport. A person, you say they are suffering here on TV, but go to the Instagram.
They're living a very lavish life.
It is Louis Vuitton, it is Gucci. But here you are saying to us, we must enhance the arts, we must enhance sports, we must take sports people there. We are not here to come and make you to trend here with our money.
I think all of us were warned about choosing a career as a sports person, a model, musician, actress, or any kind of artist. Our parents warned us against those career paths, and if we insisted on pursuing them, they would say, at least study something else to have a backup plan to fund your life in case a career in sports, arts and culture doesn't work out as you planned. It seems to have been a universal knowledge that making decent money as an artist is pretty difficult. But it seems as though we have some artists among us who do not want to accept the reality. They want to change their reality not through hard work, learning new skills, innovation, resilience, and honesty, but rather through using our taxes to fund their fancy lifestyles. Imagine that. Why should we fund musicians and celebrities? What for? Look at this.
I heard horrendous story about Moane, how he spends money. I bought a Hammer for 100,000. The second, 200K. I bought it and then it broke down like 2 weeks later. The third one was 190. Yeah, this is my third one I have.
So then we moved to another house from the White House in Melville, which was bigger. That was after fire, you know what I mean? So from that house, it was crazy, same old thing, you know what I mean? And then the fourth house, the biggest one, which was Shoop Studios, the one who got kicked out from, was like paying 70K a month. You'd be like, yo, I wanna pay 70K, you know what I mean? For this house, and there's a message. And then you'd be like, dude, you know, everybody's living here for free, everybody's getting food for free, music for free, the lights are never off, you know, beers every day, my nigga, you know? Everybody's got their own room.
Yeah, big mansion, big house, you understand? Big things, swimming pool, big studio, Persian carpets, the hair, nice things. Living a soft life.
We started with kush drinks. When the narcotics came, you know what I mean? That just elevated the game to the another level. Yo, this guy used to spend, yo, probably a million. Why?
Narcotics, manga, gala. I think they were spent like over 4 million.
That's a man who lost everything that he earned. Look at this woman. May she rest in peace.
So, Jeremy, over the weekend, Zahara took to Instagram to say that she's ready to tell her story. She's saying that she wasn't paid her dues under the record label. She's saying since 2011, when she joined TS Records, she made way more money than she was paid. She's making claims such as that per performance, she was paid 10,000 Rand to start off with, and then people around her started raising concerns about the amount of money that she was getting for performances. When she raised this to TS Records, they then increased her income by 5,000 Rand, but she's saying that's still not enough. She's still owed money in royalties and for those live performances. So Zara is saying that over the years, this whole saga took a huge toll on her. She turned to alcohol for comfort because she felt like she had no one to talk to about her issues. She's saying things such as, in the music industry, you do feel isolated because you really don't know who you can talk to. You really don't know who you can raise issues to. And she came into this industry very young from the Eastern Cape, calling herself the village girl. So she says she was clueless about what was due to her or how this industry is supposed to treat her. She turned to alcohol as a result. And now she's saying that she's been clean from alcohol for 5 months, and she feels that it's the right time for her to come out and tell her story. She's also saying that she was scared to speak out, Jeremy, saying that she was scared that she would be blocked in terms of radio play and in terms of live performances. She's saying she's scared because TS record label bosses are quite influential people in the industry. So she thought that her career would fail. So she's saying that she's struggling to meet her expenses at the end of the month, and it shouldn't be this way because she works very hard.
Umuntu mhlamba abantu kabacinga bacinga nawe xa uhambe uyothenga umculo wami uyothenga isithi zami unento ethi ubeka isonka etafuleni ubeke lami kodwa mina ndifana nawe ndiyakwazi uowindlu ndiowe boma 4 months kodwa ndiyasebenza ngoba ndizakwenza ntoni le ndlu le yimalini ngenyanga ngafuna ndikhuphe 20,000 for le ndlu kodwa mina ndifumana 15,000 from i-cake.
She was taken advantage of. What should the Ministry of Sports, Arts and Culture do? It should make sure to educate musicians, sportsmen, and other artists on how to monetize their skills. They could conduct workshops on financial literacy. They could audit record labels to make sure that they're not taking advantage of the artist. Every few years, as stories come out about people who wasted the wealth that they earned in their sports and music careers.
So he was making a lot of money.
50, 60 a month. Sometimes when you shoot more than one production, or sometimes things like production up in the theater. Because in a month things are almost 300,000 in 1 month. Obviously with the theater sometimes I want to pay show no 5 or 10,000 pay show. So which means if I'm a show I2 a day, no over 20,000 a day. So in 2 weeks' time, you're in a simple 200, just like that. Those days, 200,000, when you compare a month, being over 500,000, it was a lot of money, 200,000.
The better rappers in you. I think for my 5,000, I charge him something an hour or 2 hours.
I'm gigs now almost every weekend. When I'm getting booked and normally it's me all cash. Angisina bank. Yo-ke le besirafa sake le sidla rafu ke impahla sidawa sijola ngayo book amahotela
namhlanje ubamba intombazane ekuseni emini sobanene ntambama uyobhuka mhlawumbe uzobhuka kwabo ma 3 days or almost iviki lonke.
Wena mawuhola every day, every second day ngena imali awukho worried, and hence now he was not worried.
They wasted on alcohol, friends, Gucci's, Range Rovers, and trips overseas. They act like they don't know that they will not be sports stars or TV stars forever. We know them, right? And this is very important. We don't only see this problem with the sports and music stars, we see it with people who win the lottery as well. And that is not a South African issue only.
Big, I was able to work out a negotiation with the team to be able to get a big lump sum of my money up front, which usually doesn't happen, but with the grace of God, I was able to do that, and I purchased my mom a home.
Okay, so you buy your mother a home. So what would be an example of something that you did at that younger age that you look back on now and say you just can't believe you spent the money doing that?
I would say a lot of exotic cars, jewelry that I did. I had a car fetish when I was very young. I had 5 or 6 different cars, but I had the most expensive cars when you're talking about Bentleys, Maybachs, Mercedes-Benz, so a lot of high-end things. I was into designer watches, Rolexes, timeless pieces that you can have forever. So I was into those type of things.
All right, that was what you were into, but you also paid for things for friends, didn't you? You went places, you went to Vegas. Tell us about that aspect of it.
Well, we went on lavish trips. I mean, we would go on vacation together. We would go to Cancun, we would go to Puerto Rico, we would go, different places throughout the United States. And I would travel with a big group of guys. I would travel with 8 to 10 people with me and pay.
It happens across the world. Financial advisors and guidance is what the department needs to do to help.
And we see how many things we have in common, but you've also come with saying, I want transparency.
Yes.
And that's one of the first things you gave us, to say, I want transparency, I want things to be published, I want the public to know how much is being spent on artists, how much is being spent on athletes, and why.
Let me explain something that South Africans don't know. Is that, that there are people that are not artists that is getting money from my department. There are people that are not sports people that are getting money from the department. There are people that are not heritage people involved in heritage, preserving our heritage, that gets money. On the other hand, you have artists that are struggling. You have sports people that are struggling, while they have a department that must enable an environment where they should not struggle.
We have been hearing rumors of people who have no business getting money from the government, getting loads of it, while people like Sibongile Ngoma, who have served the department, who have offered their products and services, not being paid by the same governments. It's time for such behavior to not only be exposed, but stopped. I hope people like Sibongile Ngoma get their monies paid to them if they are still owed. I mean, that is a very important issue.
The athletes are struggling. We can't have that. I saw a Paralympic athlete that his mother take care of him sometimes, but he says to me, no, he could on his own, but it's nice to have his mother. His mother is not going with him. But you have another person or other people going there to do what? Yesterday I asked them to say, give me the list of people that are going to the Olympics in my office and tell me what are they going to do there. I already know I'm going to scratch a lot of names, like what I did with the people that went to Venezuela. I took off myself. I was invited to speak on the Nelson Mandela subject. I took off 3 or 2 officials. I said, no, you don't need to be there. You've never written a book. Go and find me 2 people. They found me 2 people in a book. It's a new time.
As the president mentioned on the 30th of June 2024, when he announced his cabinet, the decisions that need to be made now under the GNU need to be evidence-based decisions. We can't just say you are flying to this event and that event, but when we sit down and evaluate the merit for your traveling there, we really find no need. That qualifies as fruitless and wasteful expenditure, Mos. It's literally just for vibes. Bella, this is not just money coming from an unending stream. This is money that comes from taxpayers, some of whom are struggling worse than you. And how that money is spent should be well thought out. Money should be spent in the most productive methods possible. And honestly, there are people who are better suited to attend these events. People who will add value to the events and even learn something from the events, come back from them, implement and multiply the knowledge and the value that they gained in the events. Just because you're a minister, a member of parliament, or some official is not an automatic reason for you to be attending the events. Don't use our tax money to act as an influencer. Please, please, please.
It's a new time. School sport is coming back. You see, the problem they are having with me, I'm not there to be liked. I am there to do the job the South Africans who voted for us want us to do. Change is coming.
And that is the attitude we need in all of our leaders. Every member of parliament, committee member, minister, deputy president, even the president. None of you are there to be liked by your colleagues, superiors, or subordinates. You took an oath that said, I swear or solemnly affirm that I will be faithful to the Republic of South Africa, and I will obey, respect, and uphold the Constitution and all other law of the Republic. You took an oath to be faithful to the Republic of South Africa, us, the citizens, not your friends, family, comrades. So please be faithful to us.
Change is coming. I met with SAFA. I'm excited with what they have told us with where soccer is going. And I'm going to look at that. And I must tell you, they've made a brilliant presentation. I've met with Athletics South Africa. I'm happy with that. I have met with SASCOC. I've met with Cricket South Africa. I'm a minister on the move. I'm a worker. I've met all these people already. This is a vibe department, and it must show that. And next week I'm meeting with the people of the arts.
We want ministers who are out of their offices, out of their houses and their lavish cars, and on the ground where the work needs to be done. So this is great.
And I felt a bit guilty. Now I want to assure people that the minister responsible for telecommunications and has really been showing an eagerness. We've been talking, this will be our third time speaking, how to sort out this problem. I think between me and him, we will sort out this problem. People must watch the Springboks, must watch Bafana. This is their team. We can't be controlled by a select few that there's context and money and think they have power. We are in charge. The box must be shown on SABC. People must watch on the national broadcaster. They should watch the national team. This team belongs to the people. What type of leaders are we if we allow our voters, our people, the South African citizens, not to watch the game, not to have the same joy that we are having? No, I'm going to fight this thing. The minister, Maseko, has said, you know what, I'm with you in this fight, and we're going to do it together because there's no ego. We just want a solution.
No man is an island, right? So we need ministers to work together to solve the big, medium, and small problems that are facing South Africa in all industries. It is not a time of showing off, because by doing that, you fail to hold hands with those who are able to offer you support. So now we have the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture collaborating with the Minister of Communications and Digital Technologies, that is to solve the problems being faced by the citizens. Isn't that wonderful? I like the direction being taken here. The Springboks are a national treasure, and if that treasure belongs to all of us, then it is a fact that all of us must be allowed to view them on our screens, whether we have a fancy subscription or not. I get a sense that through these parties that have joined the GNU, we are going to learn a lot about the shenanigans that have been taking place in these departments and see them being resolved, and I am so looking forward to it.
Have you examined that there's no leakage and wastage? Because if you look at the inauguration, for example, and it came from this article, it may be wrong or right, right? So a fellow called James Ngobo, who's actually a civil servant working in another place, apparently was given a contract of 2.5 million just to do choreography, or what you call to be a music director of the inauguration. If you attended the inauguration, before it was even 2 o'clock, the stadium was empty. And those artists performed to an empty...
Unlike the previous ANC ministers that knew that whether they produce excellent or awful results, their jobs were secured, the people would still vote for them. These new ministers from parties like the Patriotic Alliance, DA, IFP and others seem to be working knowing that if they do not produce meaningful results, 2026 is coming, 2029 is coming, and the people will cast their judgment through their votes. And I suspect that they will work hard to get a positive verdict. Just in case members of the Government of National Unity have not been paying attention, the GNU is not simply about now. The GNU is not only about sharing power. The GNU is an opportunity to grow your base. It is an opportunity to get more and more supporters. It is an opportunity to make sure that when the next elections come, people will remember what you did as ministers. Gayton McKenzie has understood that this is not only a job or a GNU. This is a gladiator match happening right in front of our eyes. I expect the ANC to be sleeping on the job as they usually do. Hopefully, they prove me wrong. If the DA starts trying to push funny agendas to please the World Economic Forum or global agendas of sorts, we are watching. The ones who do what is good for us with our tax money are the ones we will support. The politicians are all hungry for votes, but who will work the hardest and smartest to get the most votes? I wish all of our ministers the best. Now, let the Hunger Games begin. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please like and share the link to this video with other citizens. I'm Katlego. This is Citizen Concerned. And until next time, beware of the comrades.